Hi, I'm Erik Petersen. I'm the editor of Dockwalk magazine.
Hi, my name is Ionna Hernandez, and I'm the Senior Client Relations Manager, Yachts at International Registries, Inc. International Registries, Inc. provides administrative and technical support to the Republic of the Marshall Islands Maritime and Corporate Registries, and most people might know us as the Marshall Islands Registry.
And today that's what we're talking about. We're talking about registries, flag states, what to look for, what some of the advantages and disadvantages are. And I suppose probably best to start at the very beginning. Why would someone register under a foreign flag?
Sure. So I think a lot of people, I think the default thought is that people register under a foreign flag because there are some tax advantages, and sure, that may be the case for some people, but there are many reasons why somebody would register under a foreign flag. It could be for anonymity, liability, the ability to hire foreign crew, or maybe their home flag doesn't have the option for their size vessel to register. Like in the United States, if a vessel is over 300 gross tons, it's nearly impossible to register your yacht. You have to jump through a lot of hoops. And maybe on the smaller yacht side, I hear a lot from sailing catamaran owners that it's very difficult to get insurance from the US, if you're US flagged, for example. So registering under a foreign flag is just another option for people who might need one.
We hear a lot of Dockwalk too about foreign crew and visas and things like that. Can that be something that plays into it?
Absolutely. So I think there is a tiny bit of a misconception about not being able to hire foreign crew if you're US flagged. You actually can, but then the visas become an issue, and them being able to work in the US, and it becomes very complicated. As we all know, most crew are going to be foreign crew, South African, British, from New Zealand, or some of those places, and registering under a foreign flag opens up the doors to be able to hire foreign crew, making it easier for both the captain, the managers, and the owners to get quality crew on board.
What are we looking for? When someone is setting out looking for a registry, what are some of the things that they really want to focus on?
Sure, so you want to make sure when you're looking for a foreign flag to register with, first and foremost, that it is a high quality flag. And what does that mean? That means being whitelisted with the different memorandums of understanding for port state control, like the Paris MOU, the Tokyo MOU. What that means is that these flags are looked at favorably as having high standards when they're being, especially if you're a commercial yacht, if you're doing chartering, this is an even bigger deal. But I think just in general, obviously yachts are seagoing vessels or traveling worldwide, and you want to make sure that when you're coming into a port that you're looked at favorably. So you want to have a flag with high standards. Other reasons you might want to go with a foreign flag and what you might be looking for is the ability to have different registration types. For example, with the Marshall Islands Registry, we have 2 different programs that allow for dual use. So the owner is able to charter their yacht for a period of time, but then also be able to enjoy it privately on their own for their own personal use. And so that's something that you definitely want to look out for. You also want to make sure that the flag state that you're registering with has a dedicated yacht team and yacht programs, and they're fully aware of how yachts actually operate, because there's nothing worse than you needing to call your flag state and they're not able to meet your needs.
I suppose that's a real important point to focus on, that there might be flag states that do a lot of business overall, but the specifics of the yachting industry are not going to be what they necessarily know about or specialize in, and can make for a interesting situation if you need help in a hurry.
For sure. Just from a technical standpoint, from a crew standpoint, all of these things tied in together, help the owner, the captain, management to operate a safe and well-operated vessel. And if your flag state doesn't understand these things, I think it's kind of a hard thing to manage. So it's really important.
Absolutely. How important is a flag state's location?
I wouldn't say that the location itself is important. I think what's important is that they have offices around the world so that they're able to meet, the client's needs. For example, International Registries has 28 offices around the world, and that means that our yachts are able to get a hold of somebody whenever they need something. So I think it's really important that, captains, managers, owners are thinking about this when they're choosing a flag, because, you never know when you're going to need your flag state's help, and it's nice to have someone pick up the phone and know that someone's there to help you.
If your flag state operates in one time zone and you happen to be somewhere off Fiji, and it's 3 in the morning for them, probably not going to be quite as helpful.
Exactly. And I've gotten phone calls on a Sunday night at 8 p.m. because a colleague in another office happened to pick up the call that something's gone wrong, or somebody needs help, or they need information to make sure that everything is squared away for one of our yachts, and we're able to do that. And I think it's really important that that people choose a flag state that they're there for them when they need them.
Sure. So lots of locations is important. In terms of capabilities, what else are things that people should look for?
In terms of capability, you want to make sure that your flag state that you're being represented by your flag state at a larger international level, like having a permanent position at the IMO or at the ILO, so that they're able to make decisions as a flag state that's working with yachts on behalf of the industry or on behalf of the yachts that are registered under their flag. Also thinking about things like, do they have their own yacht code? Do they have their own investigators and these type of things, so that when you're building to a certain flag, or again, we like to think that things won't go wrong, but if they do, is someone going to be there, and do they have the expertise to deal with those things? So you definitely want to think about that, and having their own surveyors internally, being able to make those type of decisions, and just the overall. This goes back to the high quality and standard of the flag. When everything's in-house, that just makes it, I would imagine, flow so much more seamlessly. Exactly, in-house, and just having that representation at a larger level to be able to advocate for our clients and their needs. Now at Dockwalk, we're always thinking about crew, and I'm sure there are some very specific crewing requirements that come up here. Could you walk me through a little bit of that? Yeah, sure. So we kind of hit on this topic a little bit in the beginning of our conversation, but just even being able to hire foreign crew, being able to endorse licenses. We can endorse licenses as long as they're SDCW compliant. Also being able to offer a solution when it comes to licensing where there may have been some gaps in the past. For example, the Marshall Islands has 2 original licenses. One of them is the 350 gross ton captain, 500 gross ton mate license. We saw a need there. A lot of people have RYA licenses that are accepted widely in some other flags, but it's actually not an fully SDCW license. So we saw a need to fill that gap to get captains to step up to that next level. So that's one of them, and the other one is the unlimited master's license. There was this glass ceiling there for captains at 3,000 gross tons, and we saw a big need there, so we were able to come up with an original license for that. It's also fully STCW compliant, and a lot of other flag states endorse that license. Because, like I said, it's fully STCW compliant, and that's been a big hit for us. That's huge for captains. Yeah. That's for captains that are looking to really kind of take a step up. That's a big offer. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So we're hearing a lot about the good. Mm-hmm. Tell me about the pitfalls. Tell me about what can get people into trouble that they might not have considered. Sure. Well, first, we kind of hit this again in the beginning, but I'll mention it again. Not having the support there when you need it. Lord forbid there's an emergency and you really need your flag state's assistance, or local authorities may need to get in contact with the emergency personnel. You want to make sure that your flag state is easily accessible and reachable. So make sure unfortunately that can't be said for every single jurisdiction, so just make sure that is something that you've looked into. Is someone answering the phone when you need them? Another thing to look out for when you're choosing a flag state are going to be some of the annual fees and maybe some hidden fees, and not that they're hidden in a way where it was malicious, but that you may not have thought of. And then the first year comes around, like maybe you're looking at your first year of registration and you're like, okay, everything looks very clear, but maybe there are some hidden fees. Maybe the particular flag state that you chose requires things on the corporate side, like a registered agent that is based in that particular jurisdiction. Not every flag state requires that. We do not in that way. So for example, the Marshall Islands doesn't require that you have a registered agent in the Marshall Islands, and you're not paying an annual fee to maintain that through your corporate structure through a registered agent in the Marshall Islands. And I think that that's maybe a hidden cost or a fee that maybe someone's not taken into account when they're first registering their vessel. So little things like that. Fees when you're for dispensations or other things that you may not have thought through. Just kind of keeping an eye out for that.
It seems what I'm hearing here is a couple things. One, people don't like being surprised.
Right.
I think sometimes in yachting there's this belief that, the owner can pay for it. It doesn't mean the owner doesn't want to feel like he's being ripped off.
Exactly.
You want to have all those things up front. And I think I'm hearing a lot just simply about size and experience, about a group that's big enough.
Correct.
And that has those people in-house who can really make things happen immediately. That responsiveness is going to be there.
Having the expertise. The Marshall Islands is the third largest shipping registry in the world, and while we may not be the biggest yacht registry flag, we're getting up there. We can lean on this wide array of expertise through our colleagues in other areas, even when it comes to things like innovative things that we're coming up with in the yachting side, or things that may not be that innovative, but we're just reaching them for the first time on the yachting side. Maybe things like hydrogen powered vessels and LNG and those type of things. We can, in our organization, can lean on some of our colleagues who have that type of expertise, and things when it comes to unique situations when we're talking about new builds. That's the cool thing about working in yachting, is seeing people have a lot of really interesting ideas that may not be so black and white on paper or in the regulations. We can kind of lean on our colleagues to bring that expertise to the table and say, actually, you can do this. So having that support in the background and that expertise is really important. It
is such a cool, innovative industry, and to have people who understand that and who can say, we can figure this out. We can, from our end, if you're doing something different, we can go with you on that. That seems like a really good place to be.
Exactly.
Is there anything, just kind of to sum up, that you would like people to remember when they're getting into this probably very daunting, so many different things to consider, kind of part of the industry? Sure.
I think the one thing you want to look for is a solution-based registry. Look for the registry that's going to be the best fit for you and your needs and the owner's needs. For example, I mentioned earlier having the charter programs that allow for some dual use or flexibility, owner, private use versus commercial use, where those programs may be available, whether that's available through the flag that you would like to go with or not, what size vessels they register with, the expertise. You want to go with a very high quality, high standard flag. So just bringing all of that into the package and really doing your research and making sure that there aren't any hidden fees and that you're going to get the support that you need. But most of all, having that solution-based spirit and helping owners, captains, and crew get to where they want to be and how they want to operate their vessel.
People who fix problems, that's what we like.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. This has been really interesting, and hopefully a lot of help out there for people who are trying to get to know something that's often quite confusing.
Yeah, it can be.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.